Hello, everyone, and welcome to Community Conversations. My name is Carrie Gray, and I am the Adult and Senior Services Specialist for Prince George's County Memorial Library System. Today, I have with me some members of Prince George's Senior Provider Network, and we will be focusing on the senior community today. So today I have with me Jennifer Tillman and Vicky Kalitzi. Let me give you a little bit of background on these ladies. Vicky Kalitzi has been the owner and operator of Visiting Angels Home Care Agency in Largo, Maryland. As a confident, caring, and owner and operator of Visiting Angels, she calls on her team to provide care and relief to clients in need. Vicky is also the founder of Prince George's Senior Provider Network and currently serves on the board of directors. Additionally, she is currently Alzheimer's Association Caregiver Support Group Facilitator, a member of Dementia Friendly America Task Force, a member of the Greater Bowie Chamber of Commerce, and former treasurer for the Maryland Gerontological Association and co-author of Why We Care, Choosing the Right Home Care Agency. Vicky remains intimately involved with the daily operation and management of Visiting Angels, providing quality home care services to the growing senior population. Next, I have Jennifer Tillman. She is the newly elected president of Prince George's Senior Provider Network. Jennifer leads this organization with a mission to improve and enrich the quality of life of Prince George's seniors and their caregivers. After assuming the responsibility to relocate her parents to Prince George's County after Hurricane Katrina and serving as a primary caregiver, she changed her real estate business model to focus on seniors in later life transitions. Jennifer currently cares for her 91-year-old dad and understands the challenges adult children face with full-time jobs who also tend to parents as they age and live in conditions. With the focus on baby boomers, caregivers, and seniors, Jennifer holds the Seniors Real Estate Specialist, SRES, certification given by the National Association of Realtors, the Certified Senior Housing Professional by the Senior Real Estate Institute, and is a certified senior advisor. Jennifer is the owner of a real estate team licensed in Maryland, Virginia, and the District of Columbia, and with a compassionate spirit provides the service one deserves. Well, welcome, accomplished ladies. How is everyone doing today?
We're
Fine,
great.
thanks.
Good. So I am also a member of the Prince George's Senior Provider Network, which we call PGSPN, has one of those long names like the Prince George's County Memorial Library System, where people always flub, but I get it. So if we don't mind starting, I guess we'll start with Vicky because you were the founder. I guess if you want to talk about what is PGSPN and what is the mission of PGSPN?
Okay, so the Prince George's Senior Provider Network is a 501c3, and our mission was always to be able to provide resources to our seniors and their caregivers here in Prince George's County. We kind of started out back in 2002 as a loosely knit networking organization when back then there were not a lot of resources here in Prince George's County. And we came together monthly to find out about, what was going on with the senior trends in the county, to find other resources, and then just to have other people that we can network with. Well, from 2002 until 2010 is when we formulated the organization into a corporation. And then in 2014, we officially became a 501c3. So we kind of started out with maybe 5 members of the organization. And I think today we have over 100 different organizations that are a part of the Prince George's Senior Provider Network.
Mm-hmm. Okay, wow. So that is so interesting. How was the process of starting a 501c3? Like, how was it? I know you really felt called and compelled. You had the group of people, but how was that process?
Well, it took a lot of time. It wasn't just filling out an application and, submitting it. There was a lot of work that had to go into it. Fortunately for us, one of our board members was an attorney or is an attorney, and she took on the responsibility of converting I was going to say the agency, the organization into a 501c3. So it probably took us about 2 years for the whole process, but I can't say that the 2 years were painful because I wasn't involved in it. It was Bird and Bird that took care of it for us.
Mhm. Awesome, awesome. I'm glad to know that history. I didn't know that history actually beforehand. So that's very interesting. So shout out to Bird and Bird Law. um, Jennifer, so taking over as president, what made you really take, I guess, ownership or really start working with PGSPN?
Well, I started with PGSPN as one of the members, and I had at that time a downsizing service as well as my real estate service. So what I kept finding in my work is that, seniors needed more than just putting a sign in the yard and putting their home on the market. And I decided to go into that senior marketplace because I had moved my parents from Hurricane Katrina and had to move them a couple of times until they found the place that was most comfortable for them before moving with me. And so I realized that a lot of times people need to clear out their home to, in order to move into a senior community because they can't take everything. So I started this downsizing service, and my colleague actually was a member first, or he attended a meeting. And then I decided to become a member because most of the people that I would be working with and referring to my clients were part of the membership. So that's how, and that must have been maybe in around 2014 or so, maybe before, somewhere in there, I became a member. And then being a member, I got connected to some of the committees. I chaired the membership committee for several years, and then stayed on the board as vice president and then president. And just being part of the Prince George's Community Senior Provider Network has been a joy to me because as a caregiver, I had so much more knowledge about caring for my parents and was able to, use all of the resources there, as well as provide that to my clients. And so it's just been a joy to be a member of the organization. And I feel it's just so useful, for our community.
Okay, awesome. So how right now would you say the direction that we're going as an organization, how is GSPN fulfilling its, how are we working to fulfill our mission?
Right. Well, one of the things that we do is we put out about 20,000 resource guides every year to the community, and we make sure that we get them to all of the places where seniors would be. Prior to COVID, we, would actually go to the community centers and those things. Now we still have a great deal of locations that we put them in, as well as if I'm doing a presentation somewhere or any of the members are doing presentations, we make sure that we have them that we could even drop off at locations to make sure that, so that's one thing is the resource guide. And, we also have a speakers bureau. So many of the members of our organization have, they were already doing presentations, and now we just had to convert them to online presentations. So we have over 54 presentations that we can provide, and they're senior related, topics that relate to seniors. So that's another way. And, just the monthly meetings that we have monthly meetings where the members attend the meetings, and it's an educational meeting, and they can take that back out to their clients. So we're reaching in various ways to the community, and we want to continue and even grow that.
Yeah, and then, the other thing, Jennifer, is the partnerships we have, like with the Maryland Department, Family Services and Aging, with the Maryland National Park and Planning, the Senior Services Unit, and with the Prince George's Memorial Library System. So having those type of partnerships with those organizations also helps get that mission out for us. And then the things that we do in the community for the community themselves. Each November, we have the Caregivers Retreat, which Jennifer chaired this year. And it was our first time doing it virtually, and it really turned out nice. But you know, November is National Caregivers Month, and we always make sure, I guess for probably the past 5 years or so, that we took a time out to pamper the caregivers, because it wasn't, we did some education, but it was also a time where they could come and just take a deep breath and someone focuses on them.
Mhm.
And then we also have the folks that work with like picket fences. Each year we'll bring people in the community that need assistance with hearing aids, or they may have large medical bills or things that they need in order to continue with their everyday lives. So PGSPN has been really instrumental these past couple of years in helping out individuals in the community with meeting some of those needs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, Vicky, because this year, because we had to go on the Zoom for our Caregivers Conference, we still had, you know, a day for resources, a day for technology, so that the caregivers knew all about all of the new technology. But we had a special day for caregivers where we had a spa event online, and it was wonderful. We had 50 registrants, and they each received a package prior to the Zoom call, and they were able to just go into a spa day online, and that was very good. You know, some of the other things that we actually do is, you know, in conjunction with the county, is we have a durable medical equipment reuse program. So, you know, the caregivers as well as the seniors are able to even be able to get equipment, because that's one of the things that, you know, sometimes they're lacking, they need.
And then at the Department of Aging, we have the Incontinence Closet. So
Yes.
each year during the holidays, instead of having people charged to come to our event, we ask them to donate incontinence supplies. And those go directly to the Department of Aging, so that individuals who need those supplies have access to it. And then throughout the year, we replenish it. So those partnerships have done well for us.
Awesome, awesome. Y'all definitely have explained why PGSPN is a valuable resource. And I just wanted to kind of reiterate and highlight the senior resource guides. We talked about it briefly about how we send out about 20,000 guides a year. But the senior resource guide is one of the things that really drew me into the organization. It's a great reference guide for us library folks and us information connectors to have, because so many times, like, people ask, where's the good old phone book, and we want those paper resources. I know everything is virtual now, and we can't get out as many paper guides as we want to right now, but it's available online. Just to highlight for everybody, you can go to www.pgspn.org to view the 2021 guide in there. And I think this year we also highlighted places for people can get in touch with food resources, and everyone's looking for care, health. Your Maryland information and context is in that guide. It's a great resource. So I just wanted to kind of highlight that and drive everybody to the PGSPN website and page. Also, if they wanted to know how they could connect their organization with us or connect somebody in need to us, that they can go there for that resource. So I guess I want to say, who would be a good candidate for membership? I don't know who want to take this. Who are we looking for to be a member of PGSPN?
I don't mind speaking to it. Anyone who serves seniors and or anyone who can provide a resource, for seniors, we want them to be a member of the organization. We have various types. If you look in the resource guide, we have home health care, we have medical, non-medical. We also have attorneys, financials, real estate agents. So it's just a wealth of membership, and we're all serving seniors in some way. And so, and that also, if anyone wants to just understand the membership and how to become a member, they can also go to our website and click on join, and it will show you the various levels of membership, what you get for each of those. And so it's open, I would say. And Vicky, you might want to add on, but anyone who's going to serve that senior population would like to be a member, because not only are you networking with other members, but when someone comes to me and they need any one of the resources in the guide, I know exactly who to put them in contact with, or if they're looking at an estate attorney and they need someone to help them downsize and sell their home, they can then, they know who to call, because we're all serving seniors and we're all in the guide.
Exactly. And it just doesn't have to be a product. It could be a service, like Jennifer's a realtor. So maybe there's someone who installs ramps, or maybe there's someone who can do home modifications. A big one is someone to do handyman services. You don't know who to call. You want someone trusted that's been, that I want to say that we don't verify, but if you have someone who you have a relationship with, and that's the thing about Pgspn, it's about building those relationships. And we do business with people we know, like, and trust. That's just how it is in life. And once someone is a part of that organization, it's easy to refer them because we know you, we like you, and we trust you because we developed a relationship with you. Yeah. It's not for someone who just wants to come and put a listing in the book and think they will get business out of that. It's for people who are really invested in Prince George's County and who want to spend time getting to know Pgspn.
Yeah, and I would say it's also for those that really care for the seniors and they really come from a caring spirit. So it's not a place to come and, like Vicky said, generate business and wait for, when am I going to get a lead or whatever. It's nothing like that. It's nothing like that. It's really a community of people who really want to serve seniors and really enrich their lives.
I can definitely second that. I remember I came to know about Pgspn through the senior resource guide, but also I came to a member meeting and I spoke on the services that we offer at the library. And like I said, we kind of have a synergy in our mission where, we push, the whole lifelong learning thing. And we concentrate on free resources and we concentrate on equity of access. And we are really the people's library. You hear about all of these academic libraries and academic institution. Well, your public library really is the people's champion. We are there to kind of educate, people and provide access to materials. So I've definitely have found being able to reach different people, senior residences, different senior facilities, I think it's really broadened my reach. And when I did my presentation at the membership meeting, people was like, oh, can you come here and do that? Or can you come here and do that? Like you said, when you like and you trust someone and you have this valuable resource, you're telling everybody about it. So I really found Pgspn to be the premier hub, and especially for Prince George's County. A lot of times you might hear about something and it's somewhere far off or you can't do it. I mean, how many times does that happen to us with restaurants or maybe even care with a doctor? And it's like, oh, well, they don't even service anyone in the community. Where here you have it where we always say in this county, Prince George is proud. You have all of these people who are, Prince George is proud, who service Prince George's County residents. So I just wanted to kind of highlight that. Did any of you all have, like, I guess, a testimony to the organization and kind of how it's helped you in your career or connecting people?
Mhm.
You want to go first?
For me, when I started back in the senior industry back in 2001, there was nothing out here, and I didn't know anyone. I did not know what to do, where to go, and who to speak to. But meeting other like-minded individuals took away some of the scariness of it, you know, especially if you're new in business and you don't know who to talk to. And then you learn a lot about what's out there. So I would say the success of my business, I've been in business for 20 years now, and a lot of that has to do with the relationships that I've built over the years, and also being able to be a resource to the community that I serve. And I can only do that because of the people that I have met through PGSPN. You know, and that right there, that's my testimony, and I'm sticking with it.
Yes.
I love it. I love it.
Well, I definitely, I can talk from a personal standpoint because I'm a caregiver, and I can talk from a business standpoint. And, you know, from a personal standpoint, and that's one of the reasons why I just cherish the caregivers, because I felt I had a great opportunity to be part of a group where information was just being fed to me that I needed. It was a godsend, because, you know, I took my parents in kind of like abruptly, you know, just, you know, they had to be here, and all of a sudden now I'm a caregiver. And so just knowing about the community, what resources are available for them. And then when my mom got ill, just knowing that I had an attorney right there at my fingertips to give me all my paperwork that I needed to get together, advance directives. I knew nothing about that before. You know, so getting all of the paperwork together, I actually used lots of visiting angels resources, you know, to come in and take care of my mom, you know, and then later when she moved into hospice, I had a hospice. So everything was right at my fingertips, and I am just so grateful. Now, from a business standpoint, again, it's, you know, I want to be able to provide services to my clients, not just be just the traditional real estate agent. So if my client is talking to me and I see that they need to really talk to an attorney, I can give them that attorney. They might need, of course, I already have handyman, you know, people in my database, but some of them do need to talk to a geriatric, you know, a social worker. They're, you know, they need home health care. You know, they just need the resources that I have right here in the membership. And so it has helped my business because my clients know that I really care when I'm able to put them in contact with various people to help them through. And maybe I don't even get any business out of it, but I have helped them. And that's the main thing. That's the best part.
Awesome.
Exactly.
Awesome.
That's so important.
Yes, I'm so glad y'all shared that. I was like, always when you put that personal spin on it, it helps with the connection. So I hope definitely somebody is inspired, and maybe they are looking for services or looking for a place to start, or maybe they are a business person looking for a place to network. I hope they visit us at pgspn.org. All right. Also, so Vicky, I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about it. You are the owner and operator of Visiting Angels Home Care Agency in Largo. So if you don't mind talking about your business for a little bit and talking about what you do.
Okay, sure. So Visiting Angels Home Care Agency is a non-medical organization where we send caregivers into the home to provide what we call activities of daily living. And that's that bathing, hygiene assistance, meal preparation, light housekeeping, medication reminders. We take our clients to doctor's appointments or outings into the community and provide general companionship and supervision. So, you know, one of the things that we've noticed is everyone wants to be home. right? You're more comfortable at home. And for us, we all provide those services, but the most important piece about home care services are that personality and temperament of that aide that is coming into the home. Because if an individual does not look forward to that person coming in, it's just a wash. It's not going to happen. So, over the years, we realized that it's not about the task. Anyone can perform the task, but it's about that connection. And for us, we like to make sure that our clients and that caregiver have that connection. We also have noticed over the years that many people who are coming to us have dementia, right? So we have to be able to train our aides to be able to engage with someone who has dementia. Because a lot of times we think it's about memory loss, but it's much more than that. The brain is failing, and so you have to engage differently than you would. So for us, it's important that our caregivers understand the person that they're going in to, provide services to, but also they know how to engage with that person based on whatever it is that they're dealing with at that time.
Good to know. Good to know. How have you all had to pivot, Vicky, during COVID? Have any of your services changed? Are you offering anything different? Tell me what's going on with Visiting Angels in relation to that.
Yeah, so, we did have to pivot. And one of the things that we do differently now is previously we would go into every potential family's home to talk about services and expectations of having someone come in. Now it's all done virtually. We cut down on that physical contact until we actually have to be in there. And that's when that nurse goes in to do the assessment. We've also had to invest in some electronic platforms in our organization so that families have more transparency when it comes to the agency and the aid and the services that are being conducted. So we have a portal called the Family Room, which is built into our scheduling software, where a family member can log into this family room and they can see what the aide has done for their loved one. They can see what time the aide left, what time they came in. It even has a picture of the aide. Or if there's been a change to medications can be updated. But most importantly, now instead of having to write a check or giving someone access to your bank account, now they can just go right onto the electronic portal and pull up all invoices and pay, online. And it even keeps track of all of the paid and unpaid invoices. So it cut down on having to send things through the mail. And then, we had to go into a electronic platform for our hiring. Before caregivers could just walk into the office and fill out an application, now everything is done electronically from the time the application goes out until we have a 2-part orientation up until the first part of the orientation. Once they complete that, then that second part, when we do that clinical skills assessment, is when the person actually comes in. So, we've had to change some of that as well. And then we have smaller training classes. But I've noticed the interesting thing is I always thought that we had to physically be there in order to do what we do. And COVID has shown us that you do not have to physically be anywhere to do what you do. You just need to do what you do. So that's, some of the things we had to do to pivot.
Okay, I'm gonna leave you alone for a little bit, but I'm gonna come back to you a little later. But Jennifer, if you don't mind telling us about your business, I know you are a real estate agent, but if you wouldn't mind telling them about your business, tell them, really, I guess, focus on the senior focus that you have. Go ahead.
Right. Yes. So, of course, I'm a leader of a team, Keller Williams Preferred Properties in Upper Marlboro. And I focus more on the senior population than some of the others on the team. I do have a director of operations. I have showing assistants and another agent that goes out and list and sell properties. And so with my focus on the senior population, I do 2 presentations that I put out in the area. And then a lot of times it's just word of mouth, and people know that I'm one of the senior real estate agents. And one of the presentations is Downsizing Made Easy.
Mhm.
And so I'm reaching really at that point to baby boomers, maybe empty nesters. And so in my vision statement or whatever, I always say that I want to be that transition specialist of choice, because in everything really we're helping people transition. It could be that first home that a person's renting and now they're buying their first home. It could be that their family's growing and they need to get a bigger home, or they're downsizing now. The kids are going away to college and they're downsizing. And then, of course, working with the elder children, who are doing things with their parents. So focusing on that baby boomer and the caregivers and the seniors, one of my presentations is Downsizing Made Easy, where I go into the various steps of downsizing. And then the second presentation that I do is Moving Mom and Dad. And with that one, it's helping them to understand you don't want to wait until a crisis happens to start having the conversations with your mom and dad about how they want the rest of their life to be. And in both of these, I try to make the participants see that to be most independent, we don't want to lose our independence, but to be most independent, it's taking the time right now to plan out how you want your life to be, because if not, someone else is going to be making that plan for you. So when I'm working with that population, either the seniors or, again, I'm helping them through the whole downsizing. I have organizers that will come in and help them decide what to throw away, what to donate, what to save, what to give away as charity. So I'm going through all of that, as well as, of course, doing a market research, finding out how much their home is worth. In some cases, I've helped them sell their home, move into a smaller home, and invest the funds that they received into an annuity, so that now they're in the new home and now they have a check coming in every month to help them with their expenses and things like that. I answer a lot of questions around reverse mortgages. Is it a good thing? Is it not a good thing? And going into more details around it really is depending on that individual as to whether it's good or not. It may be good for a while, and then all of a sudden now mom has dementia and she really can't stay in the house by herself. And so now, undoing some of that, the reverse mortgage. So everyone's situation is different. And so I go in, I sit down with them, I understand what are their goals, what do they want to accomplish in the move or in the purchase. And then I work, everybody has a different plan of action as to what we're gonna do with that whole move. And so that's pretty much, but I have a staff and they will do all the paperwork, and I'm pretty much customer facing. I want to spend the time really understanding what's going on in my family, in that family's, the life. Many times I'm dealing with children of the elder, and then getting into situations as, and that's where we need some the attorney to come in to have the power of attorney, some of the documents. So it really is, I don't know what I would do if I didn't have a group of colleagues that I can, members of the Pgspn that I can then go to for various resources. But, selling the home, putting it on the market, making sure that my client is happy, less stressed throughout the whole process because there are systems involved. That's pretty much how I work.
Awesome.
Jennifer, you said something that really stuck out, and that was making the decision, because one of the things we see, people make decisions that are emotional and not educational because they wait until something happens in order to move.
Yes.
And
yes.
not just physically move, but to move their behinds to do something.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
folks should plan and start looking around at things you need before you need them, so that you can see what it costs, what the location is, and kind of, see what's out there, so you know what you want and what you don't want. That's in terms of services, moving, anything. And then
Right.
you can make a decision, see the attorney, let them know, so your family knows it's all down in writing.
Right.
That is good. I second that, Vicky. That is
Mhm.
definitely a good way to look at things. But as we find ourselves now, maybe we're not as in necessarily a crisis mode now, but we are in a pandemic. Jennifer, what are you seeing, I guess, in the real estate market as far in relationship to seniors? Like, what's the movement or what's the trends going on with real estate and seniors right now?
Right. Okay. So it's different things, but one thing, several people just recently reached out to me because interest rates are so low. And so, and when I do the presentations, I like to look for retirement communities, so that, and I don't mean community itself, I mean members of retirement groups. And so I just recently had a retirement seminar, talking to people who are retired or thinking about retiring. And just two of them recently have downsized out of their homes. Some of them are in 3-story townhomes and they really want single level. And so they see the interest rates going down. They realize that they've been putting off for so long. And so they're making the move. So I'm helping two people right now just make that move to downsize. So the market is good. The interest rates are low. Sometimes I guess the challenge is when you get a call from a senior who doesn't have a lot of family and they can't do the steps any longer. And maybe they're in that reverse mortgage and they don't know what they're going to have to do to get out of it. Or, a senior who doesn't have many family members, but their income is low and they're renting. I get all kinds of stories. They're renting, but maybe now the landlord wants to sell the house, because they're looking at, what's going on with COVID and they want to get out of, this investment. And so it's looking for housing for some of these seniors who can't afford to either rent with the rent prices now or, or purchase, and so it's good if they have a family member to go and live with, but you're not going to always have that. So that's where my heart pangs, because I have to then go and look in senior housing, subsidized housing, and sometimes there's a wait list, and so that's the challenge sometimes right now, where seniors don't have a place to go because their landlord wants to sell the house or they can't do steps any longer and they don't have the funds.
Wow. Wow, that's real. I also think about that. I think about as I see so many townhomes go up in Prince George's County, and I believe we talked about it in a member meeting, just about what housing looks like in Prince George's County. And like when you're young, you running up and down the steps, you forget your cell phone, and we don't think about how that translates. Like you said, as we transition, do you have a house that you can kind of get old with? What are your needs and everything else like that? So I guess real quick, are there any tips or any resources that you would refer somebody to if they're looking to move or anything with housing, if they looking for housing as a senior, anything you can refer to them?
Well, one thing I've been giving them is our resource guide, because we do have a section in the resource guide for senior housing. And it's about 3 pages of various housing that they could call and see if there's openings and things like that. So that's one thing that I've been doing. I've sent to several people just the resource guide so that they can look up the housing that's there.
Yep. Awesome. So now I'm gonna jump back to Vicky. So in the term of caregiving, have you seen any changes or anything people are requesting? I mean, it's the whole pandemic. You dealing with people coming into your house. Like, what are the trends, I guess, or what are the challenges with caregiving right now?
See, it's interesting because in the beginning of COVID, no one wanted you to come into the home. Now they're inviting you into the home with open arms, because caregiving has just gotten to be a bit much with kids working, doing virtual learning, families working from home. You can have a husband and wife working from home, and then you have mom in the next room who needs some assistance. And you think you can do it until you can't. So we noticed that now that adult day centers are closed, the adult activities are limited, person to person activities are limited. There's been an uptick for us in business because now families need someone to come in, sit with mom or dad, or mom or dad, we've noticed, have gotten worse over the pandemic because, they're not getting out, people aren't coming in. So we're finding that people are needing more service now than they probably would have needed this time last year because of everything that's going on in the limited contact. But then, there's a shortage of caregivers because caregivers do not want to go in and out of different folks' homes, not knowing who's in the home, who's been in the home. Families have a lot of concern about, well, did the aide take a COVID test? And I have to ask, well, did your son who comes over every couple of days, did he take a COVID test?
Yeah.
Because it can go both ways. And the aides are just as concerned about taking COVID home to their families as the families are about the aides coming into their homes. So yeah, we've seen a lot of people just not being able to sustain their lives while taking care of family members, because of this.
So you actually seen an uptick in requests for services and care during this time. And I didn't even think about that in relationship of you being home, but that doesn't mean you can necessarily care for. And that is very interesting. What should, I guess, people look for in a caregiver? We know you are in the guide, but where are some of the resources where people can find care that they need now? Like you said, a lot of places are closed, like the adult daycares. And I believe a lot of even the senior centers haven't really opened back up yet at all. So what are some alternatives or some tips and some resources you have?
A lot of the people that were getting out and now they can't get out, they can still be socially engaged. So they can do online activities like Covia has the virtual activities and the phone activities. I always say social distancing doesn't mean social isolation. So, one of the things I had suggested, Zoom your friends and sit down and talk to your friends on Zoom or on FaceTime so you can still see them. That's part of that interaction, being able to see the body language, right? So being able to do that. But you just have to do whatever is based on your comfort level. Warm time, when it's warm out, you can still go out and walk with a friend. You just can't be all up on them, but you can still get out masked up and go out and walk. For everyone, Jennifer, for everyone, Carrie, it's different. I have some folks who, like I said, will just let anybody and everyone in. And I have some folks who are like, nope, I don't want anyone to come in until they get a COVID vaccine.
Right.
But and usually those are folks who are living by themselves. The ones who are taking care of the family members are the ones that are saying, come on in, the back door is open. Because, they really need that relief. We all need a break. When I work from home, at the end of the day, I go get in my car and drive so that I can transition and come back home now and cook dinner just to change the scenery and break things up. So I can only imagine having to take care of a parent who may has dementia or who may need more than just someone to sit there and, and look at them and make sure they stay safe.
Thank you. Thank you for that. What would you say, what are some of the questions we should ask a potential caregiver for someone considering care?
Right. So that's so if you're looking for a independent contractor, let's say, right, to come in. You want to make sure that they have their license, they're bonded, they carry some type of liability insurance in case they get hurt in your home or they hurt someone in your home or something gets broke or missing. But then you also want to look at personality and temperament of the individuals, and that goes for agency or independent contractors. You want to make sure that personality and temperament is a good fit for the individual. Just because I did well with Mrs. Jones doesn't mean I'll do well with Mrs. Smith, because it's two different personalities. So you have to take the time to get to know the person, and you may not really get an opportunity to know them until you start working with them. You also want to see what their flexibility is, because in life, things change. You know, you might need one thing this week and it could be consistent, but then next week something may change. Maybe there's an appointment that's thrown in. Do you have consistency? Do you have backup? If you can't come, who's coming in your place?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, those are some of the things you want to look at as well. And that's for the paid caregiver. For the unpaid family caregiver, they need to build their social network. They need to make sure they have their support team. And now's a good time to really look at for some of those support groups. Look after your mental health. You know, we talk about heart health and, you know, women's health and men's health, but no one talks about mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Check out your mental health.
Right.
We all need a break, you know, and we all need someone to talk to. And it doesn't necessarily have to be that friend, but that neutral person who can kind of walk you through what you're going through. And, you know, just try to think about coming out of this pandemic better than you went in. Things are closed down, we can't get out, but what can you do to make yourself a better person? What are some of the things you can work on about yourself that you probably didn't have time to do before? You know, so, and with the caregivers too, call your other friends, sit down and do a Zoom. So when you're asking her how she feels, you can look her in her eyes and you can tell she's tired, or you can tell how she's feeling. That's how we need to check up on each other, because over the phone, I can say anything because you can't see me in my bathrobe just sitting around not doing anything. But if I Zoom you, I can see how you look.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look out of sorts, then I can say, hey, this is not you, what's going on? So, you know, that's some of the things we have to do for, you know, the family caregivers, making sure that they have that support and making sure they know how to ask for help, ask for that support. And that help could be going to the store to pick up a prescription for me. Can you go and get the oil changed in the car? Or how about going to pick up something from the grocery store? It could be something small. It sounds small, but I always say those small things make a big difference. So, you know, being able to ask for help and being able to accept the help are some of the things caregivers have difficulties with doing.
Thank you. I think you gave us a lot of tips and a lot of different things to think about for yourself. And I know Jennifer probably can chime in working with the Caregivers Retreat, you know, last year, taking care of yourself and, you know, making sure that you were in good source. What they say, you have to take care of yourself before you can take care of anybody else. What is it? When you're on a plane, you got to put the air over yourself first. So I think that's something that we really, you know what I'm saying? We say, okay, yeah, I got it, I can do it, but we don't ask for help enough. Any other tips or anything you want to chime in on that with Jennifer?
Oh yeah, I definitely can relate to everything that Vicky was saying, because my dad lives with me. So there are times like today, I'm at home, but I'm in a meeting. So I have a sibling that has to come in to, you know, stay with my dad, because he actually had a phone appointment today as well. So, you know, so I definitely agree, as well as, you know, asking for help. You know, I can relate to, can you stop for that prescription for me? Or can you stop at the store because dad needs this, that, or the other? Or on Saturday, my brother comes and spends a couple of hours just to give me a little, a break. And I love what Vicky said about at the end of the day, just getting in your car and driving off to kind of, break that day up and come back. So definitely self-care is so important. I mean, I know you guys have heard where sometimes the caregiver, the child dies before the senior because they just didn't take care of themselves. And so, definitely that's very important for you to be able to care for that senior. You have to first care for yourself. Yeah. Put
Yeah.
your mask on first.
And I ran across some statistics that says 70% of caregivers over the age of 70 die before the person that they're taking care of.
Wow.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I've seen it. I had a man before who called us in for service for his wife who had MS, and left him the paperwork. And, he said, I'll call you in a couple of days. In a couple of days, I got a call, and it was from the son. And I said, oh, Dad's ready? He says, no, Dad died.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen it as well, where the son dies before the mom, and he's taking care of mom. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I also know, Vicky, that you work with Dementia Friendly. Did you want to talk about any of that, or any resources or anything that they have going on?
Sure. So with Dementia Friendly, for those of you who do not know, several years ago when our old county exec for Sherm Baker was around, he attended the White House Commission on Aging, I believe is what it was. And at that time, Prince George's County was one of a couple of counties that were designated as being dementia friendly. And what that meant was the county was to go out and train the community on what dementia looks like. So in Prince George's County, we have 3 sectors. We have North, Mid, and South. Each sector has a different goal that they're working with. So in the North sector, their goal was to go out and train all the municipalities on dementia. And North did that because they have more municipalities than any other part of Prince George's County. Mid-County, our goal was to do a lot of brain training and memory screenings. So we work with the faith-based community, doing memory screening so that people can get the help before things just got too bad, in terms of dementia. And then in South County, they have support groups, bereavement groups, they have memory cafes, and they've started a men's caregiver group down there. So we're trying to put everything together in one place. So there's one calendar where individuals can go to and see everything that's going on. And what people can do is they can go to Dementia Friendly at picketfences.org to get placed on their mailing list. And that way they can get information on upcoming activities. Now, on this Saturday, the 27th, the Lynx Corporation is having a Green Table Talk. And that is a virtual event they will be talking about a heart healthy event. Focus on Alzheimer's and dementia in the community. And there are like 7 or 8 different speakers. I attended this last year. It was a wonderful event. This year, folks can participate and they don't have to leave their homes. They can do it virtually online. And Carrie and I can get this to you if you can, put it up so folks can just register for it.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're
So
welcome.
are there any other things anybody wanted to add? Anything else? Now, I know we talked about a lot. I definitely want to drive everybody once again to pgspn.org so they can get in contact with us if they want to be a member, or they can get in touch with us to view the resource guide. So that is available online 24/7 to look through and make contacts, to look for your next realtor, to look for your next caregiver, to whatever service that you need. So also, if you don't mind sharing how people could get in contact with you guys, I guess starting with Vicky and your business.
Mhm. For Visiting Angels, you can reach us at, I'll give you the phone number first. It's 301-583-8820. Or you can check out our website. It's www.visitingangels.com/Largo, LARGO.
Mhm.
Okay. And go ahead, Jennifer.
Yes, and so you can reach me at 301-661-4472. That's a phone number you can reach me. And my website is the Tillman Team, and I'll spell it. It's the Tillman is TILGHMAN team.com, thetillmanteam.com. And again, anybody that just wants to spend some time talking about their future, what they want their later life to be. And, I would love to spend some time just helping you think about downsizing and those later life transitions.
And get it before
Awesome.
you need it.
Yes. Just to read it. She said, get them before you need it.
That's right.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I want to thank you all for coming in and coming in virtually and having a conversation with us about PGSPN and just all the senior related things going on at this time. So thank you for your time and your consideration for participating in this program. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you
I
for having
also,
me.
you are welcome. And I also want to thank everyone for viewing the program. For those looking for information, online resources and different things, just also note that your library has free online resources for medical and medical needs. And even like, let's say you need information on different prescriptions and pills, you can actually go to our online resources and view all of that for free. Also, if you just need some self-care time as a mind break, feel free to go to Canopy and just stream a nice movie. So we have all of that available for you at the library. And if you want to tune in to any past programming, you can go to our YouTube page, just search PGCMLS and view any past programs. So thank you all once again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.